Today's Retro Robin show is going down the pan, or drain. Actually, it's going down the pipes. And I found another hair, which means I've only got a few thousand to go and I'll have a head full. As well as pick a mix of Crash re-reviews. We're going to tidy up a few loose ends. And of course some more Commodore versus Spectrum and more. So join me now on the Retro Robin show quickly before I get too excited and wet myself. Too late. Untitles. Hello and welcome to the Retro Robin show with me, Wayne, Retro Robins. So if you love a bit of 8-bit, well then, obviously you're going to love a bit of me. What's coming up on today's show? We're going down the pipes, a new game that we're going to have a look at, as well as I found another hare. Yes, Mr. Hare meets the Fly, or something to that name effect. And we're going to have a pick and mix of some Crash magazines. I'm just going to tidy up a few loose ends. We're going to have a look at Crash number 72 from January and have a couple of games out of that one we're going to re-review, as well as going to go back to Crash issue number 42 and just tidy up a loose end there. That game I meant to review on that one, but I couldn't fit it all in. Also, we got Commodore versus Spectrum, and as I said, we're going to have a quick brief look at the new Crash magazine. If you've not subscribed to this, you must do, because it's a must-get. Great one to collect. So, on with today's first game, and this game I did last time. I did part 2. I should really go back and go to the first one that came out, which was Mr. Hare and the Fly. So let's have a look at this game now, shall we? So here we go. Let's have a look at this game then I'm talking about. And as you remember in the last episode, I enjoyed playing the last one, and I thought the ending sequence was absolutely brilliant, with the Queen rendition of Another One Bites the Dust. Sort of mocks you, don't it, for really dying. So we're going to have a look at the loading screen, and of course this does contain 1 to 8K sound. We'll have a look at that as well as play the game itself. So let's just pause the AY sound on here for a moment. So, Mr. Hare and the Fly, and of course we've got all the choices that we need. Keyboard, Kempston, or Sinclair, in which case I might use Kempston, I don't know. I prefer to use the keys. The keys are, of course, QA, OP, and with the rubber keyboard, break your finger over for space. It's alright on the old toast rack, or where the big space bar is fine, but not for me. I'm using a rubber keyboard, of course, and today's computer of choice is, of course, the Endo clone of the 128. We are using real hardware. There's no emulation at all inside here. And later on in the show, we're using the Commodore versus Spectrum. And for a change, we're using the ZX Spectrum plus 2A to provide the AY sound in the back. Powered by a peripheral plugged into the back of that. So let's have a look at the game. Okay, we're going to press start. 1 for keyboard selected. And of course you've got the great sound that runs through it. You can regenerate at any particular time once you go in here. And if you look at the top of the screen, which you can zoom in if you use your fingers, I've added that as a new feature on the show. Hopefully it will work. I ain't sure until you give me your feedback. You can see the life bar, which is all full at the moment. Nice and responsive, great sprite, isn't it, that hair? Makes me jealous. I remember the days when I used to have that type of hair. You can go down these sort of rope or up them. And the first thing we're going to do is start collecting. I'm going to wait till... Ooh. Oh, there we go. I avoided it successfully. So it looks like we've got to just walk straight through it. Listen, I'm not meant to be any good at these games. I'm just here to show you them and hopefully get quite far and do quite well. So we're going to collect this spray. It's got a positive sign on it. It's not a battery, is it? It could be a battery. Yeah, it could be a battery. And that, suddenly, if you notice at the top there wasn't a bridge. It put a bridge over that, so we'll now get across there. It's pretty self-explanatory what you've got to do, and of course, as you can see, I've already lost quite a bit of energy, so I'll do well to get around this. Now I'm used to them being... I'll try to jump over him. I will do better, I promise you. Must improve. Whoops. Oh, I didn't even jump them, but I made it over. Still find it awkward with that space key being on a rubber keyboard. They should give you the option. I always like the option. The game itself, though, I've got to give it a full 8 marks and full 9.5 out of 10 for enjoyable. I've played it quite a bit now, and I've actually managed to get to the fly section, which changes the AY music. But don't worry, you won't have to see me play all the way through to get to that. I will simply fast forward to that part via the editing button. Oh, that was close, wasn't it? And as you can see, there's another battery type hairspray. I think it's a hairspray, surely. Obviously, you can go up here, but you can't get through just yet because there's a few things you've got to do before you can get to that particular point. And this is where you need good timing, look. Oh, just about managed it. Yes, I'm doing really well. And this is another bit of... Oh, it took me ages to learn how to get past that. Oh! Perhaps I should still be learning. Okay, so now we've got to find another can before we can get any further. Can or spray. But don't worry, I think I'm going to make the regeneration chamber. Oh! I've hit everybody. It's a good job it's not just, you know, one of those games where you lose your life the second you touch them. Right, so let's pause and fast forward a little bit. So I'm just going to show you that you can actually regenerate at any time. There you go, my life bar's going up at the top there, fitting in very nicely indeed. And just as well really, because I'm pretty rubbish at it, I'll do well to stay alive for much longer, but oh, I'm trying nicely. Actually, it's, you know, you get good at the games you play the most, don't you? But eventually, let's move on to the next section. So I've managed to get down here, and now when you get to this tunnel, you can just whittle your way down there, use a fast drop, get down there quick. And you have to click them as well, but there's all sorts of nasties that just come jumping out at you, to be honest. Oh boy. And yes, they can spring out of nowhere if you're not careful. So, graphically, brilliant. Colours, absolutely fantastic. Playable is a 10 out of 10 for retro. I really enjoy playing this game. Difficulty-wise, I don't know, if you're a platformer specialist then it's not too hard, but once again it helps to be a little bit patient, and guess what? I'm none of the above. Do find it frustrating. Any downsides to it? No, not really. This one's... you do start in the room you die in, which is good. And yeah, I'm playing it for real. I know, I'm surprised myself I've done this well. See if I can get to the Mr. Fly bit, and it won't be very long if I carry on doing that. So I should be almost there as long as I don't die. Oh, I'm not going to make it. I made it! I don't believe it. Look how much energy I've got left. Fortunately, I can regenerate a little bit here. And then what you do is you move on to that section, and we'll have a look at the AY sound on the fly. I won't play too much. I don't want to ruin it for you. If you haven't played this, it's a must play. And on the fly, you can fly. That's that, a fly that can fly. Somebody spray him, swat him, quick. Oh, sounds a bit more intense, doesn't it? A bit more desperation about it. And for some reason you do drop occasionally if you're not careful, so that... Ah! Get out of the way! Yes! Happy days. Well, I'm not going to carry on playing that for much longer. In fact, I'll probably end up dying. Let's see where I'm looking at the dying sequence. I've got 4 lives left, so let's pause it till I've lost all my lives. good little tune as well when you die. It's not another One Bites the Dust though. I don't think you can top that. That was brilliant, wasn't it? So that is Mr. Fly and the Hare, and it's one I highly recommend you have a play. If you love platformers, you're going to absolutely love that one. And there's been some absolutely great platformers coming out, and yeah, some great programming. Loading screen pretty good as well. So I've recently purchased another game, and it's come through on the post today, and I've got to show you both versions of this. I've got the 128k version and I've got the 128k version. So let's have a look at this game. Yes, Down the Pipes, and of course I've got the cassette there, and on the cassette it's really nicely done. I don't know if you can see that. Let's have a quick preview. There you go, as you can see on side A you got 48k. I'm going to play the autofocus up a little bit here. On side B you got the 128k, and this is the 128k version. There's the loading screen, which is absolutely fantastic. But on the rare occasion, right, very rare occasion, doesn't happen very often. I love bleeper sound, don't get me wrong, but the bleeper sound on this is absolutely fantastic. The music on the 128k, the AY sounds really good as well. Do not get me wrong, the game itself is not too bad. But we'll have a look at the music itself first of all, and of course you can choose how hard it is. And it's a nice jivey type beat, isn't it? And before you get to the game itself, they both start in the same way. I don't know what other benefits you've got on the 128k, because I'm not that good at it. The game is tough. So what is the idea of the game? Well, the idea of the game is you've got to go down a pipe, literally, as a poo. That's what you are. You're a poo. Look, you've got a poo with a poo bit on the end. Oh dear. Some of these games. It's a great idea, to be fair. But you have to avoid other things. You can fire. I don't know what it is you're firing. I wouldn't like to know either. To destroy any monsters that's in your way. But genuinely it's an avoiding game. And you've got to sort of... It's not easy. No, it's not easy. Not that anything's easy, but this is really hard for me to play. I've been trying to go. I haven't even got past the first level yet. But as soon as you start the game, you'll get this little hello, which I like. Get down. Get down. But before we play this game, which I'm not going to do too well on it, of course, let's have a look at the 48k version, which is precisely the same. I don't know what to say. I mean, this has been reviewed in the latest Crash magazine, if you haven't got your issue yet. I'm not going to tell you too much, I don't want to spoil that magazine for you. But if they did the presentation rating of any particular game like they used to, remember you used to have a presentation, you used to give percentage, that'd be up in the high 90s for just this beeper sound alone. And it gets even better. This is, as you get the game loaded, it comes up with this beeper sound. You don't get to hear this sound again, so we'll make the most of it for now. But then as you go through the selection of the games, I'm just going to let a bit more of it play. Great loading screen. This is all bleeper. This will sound as good on your 48k Spectrum as it does on your AY sound toast track, believe it or not. And I just love the effect of the butter, the border, the way that does it. It's almost like being a sort of 80s disco. So we'll move on to the next sound, which is also bleeper sound, before you start the game, which you only get on the 48k version, not the 128k version. Get ready for this. It's the stripper, isn't it? If you don't play the game, you can just put this on. This is bleeper sound. It will sound exactly the same on your 48K, as it will do on your toast rack or on your next or your whatever generation of computer you've got. This do too, your Sinclair, Omni, anything. Once again, the effect of the board makes the game, but we don't want to just listen to that fantastic music. I just don't want to start the game. Oh, I've got to try and play it now. This is not going to end well. So, with the magic of editing, let's move on to the game. The game itself doesn't have any music in, obviously you can't do all of that. You have sound effects on the 128K version, which are AY effects, and of course you have bleeper effects for the 48K Spectrum. Obviously that's self-explanatory. So let's have a look, shall we? I forget the keys. So yeah, you've got to just sort of navigate yourself down this pipe. And I've got the music of this playing on the Spectrum Plus 2A at the background. Yes, that's recreating the bleeper sound for you. Oh, that's energy I can collect that. Oh no, I'm going to die pretty soon. So the idea is to get to the bottom of the pipe, which is not really easy at all, I promise you. Because monsters come from the top as well as bottom. I'm not doing too bad. And there you go, you see, if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, you're a dead person. It's just knowing the sequences, I suppose, but yeah. Oh, nearly dead. And there we go, done for. And there was just in time, and of course, unfortunately, you do start, which lets it down a little bit, because it's so hard to get that far that when you start right back at the beginning, it feels a bit frustrating. I don't know if you actually start a little bit further down. Give it another go. I did better than the first go, didn't I? Definitely. What do I think of the game? Well, it's a great concept of the game. Graphically, it's very well done. The sprites are nice, aren't they? Unique in it. For a poo emoji, which is what it is really, it's quite cute. What did Paul think it was? I thought it was chocolate yogurt. Chocolate yogurt. Presentation, it's up there. One of the best bleeper sounds I have heard in a long time for a Spectrum. Great effects, unrivaled. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Overall rating, I've got to give it two separate ratings. For sound, I'm going to give it a full 10 out of 10. You don't get much better than this, do you really? Huh? Can you get better than this? I haven't seen much better than this. There was some good bleeper sounds out there, but fantastic. I mean, some nostalgia bleeper sounds. The game itself, I wasn't 100% with it. It was too hard for me. It's not bad. I'm not going to give it a bad rating by any means. I'd say it was about an 8, 8.5 out of 10. But it's one for you to give it a go. Maybe you do a lot better than me. Remember, this show is only a matter of opinion after all. And as always, remember, if you like my show, please subscribe, like and share. And spread the love. Because what I try to do is I try to put a bit of energy and a bit of fun back into our retro. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to go back to Crash number 42 and we're going to have a look at a game that I didn't properly review in the last issue. I'd like to go and give it a re-review. I'm going to give you the readings, the presentations, so let's move straight to it. I can't stop it. It's too good. I'm going to use this as the background music. It's brilliant. Why not? Okay. July 1987, Crash issue number 42 is where we're taking this first re-review from. Thing bounces back. And of course it was by Gremlin Graphics. It was £7.99 on release. Presentation was given 85%, graphics was given 84%, playability 87%, addictive qualities 83%, overall rating was 85%. And what we'll do now is we'll pause that music because this has got a pretty good bleeper sound and music all of its own. Just one second here. Shut up. Gives you a little demo. As you can see, it's quite a nice, fast scrolling type game. You are effectively the thing on a spring, and you've got an old meter there, and them scores, they look phenomenal, don't they? Wow. And you've got your usual information on the screen, so, well, I'm going to give it a go. Let's give it a play, shall we? Want to find out what the keys are, of course. Just tell you there are 4 interface 4. So if I use number 4, we should be able to play with the joystick. And straight through those pipes into the game. And this is not easy. Oh. If you pull down, you get a spring, and you can destroy certain platforms by doing that. And get bonuses, of course. It's not easy though. You try controlling this thing. I should have jumped then, shouldn't I? You bounce off those as well. I love the beds. You go around in circles. Stop. I don't know how high you can jump, but that must be the limit. Oh, get out this pipe. There we go. So colour and graphics are nicely done. Playability is a little bit tricky. I would say it's almost as tricky as Cauldron to me, where you're trying to bounce exactly all the time. It has that sort of difficulty level about it. The scrolling's pretty neat though. The mazes are quite big, so you can get confused quite easily and lost. Collecting those items, it helps. The biggest problem is you have to be facing the sort of direction that you want to jump in, don't you, to make it to move. That's it. Bouncing off them as well doesn't help. You can listen to that biting sound. Finally we're in a pipe. Just play down the pipe. It's really difficult, really is difficult. Chip! Could do that from the other computer. We're back in the maze now. And, he's put me back. I want to go back there, thank you very much. Okay, I think we've seen me being terrible at this long enough. Effectively, Crash gave that an 8.5 out of 10, and lack of sound in the game doesn't help. Too much sound in the... turn that down a touch, eh? He's stuck. Get off. It's very fast moving. I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10. It's got a wicked death seeker, and so I'm just going to pause to get to it, see if I can lose a life very quickly. Won't be long now before I lose my life. My score's going up, so I've got the high score. Oh, and if you ain't careful, you can get stuck here. There you get it. See that thing coming down? Now I'm definitely stuck. So we're going to be here a while. I'm stuck here. I hate it when I get stuck there. As you can see, the hole's nearly down, so I'm nearly dead. And there's your game over sequence. Yeah, 8 out of 10. One for you to try, maybe. So let's move on to... We're going to zoom ahead a bit now. We're going to get to Crash issue number 72. to have a look at a game that we're going to re-review. Let's just set that up for you. Yep, so we're looking at Stunt Car Racer, and I bought this, it was brilliant. Micro style, £9.99 for the cassette and £14.99 for the disc. So it was 85% given for presentation, graphics was given 85% also, sound 74%. You're not going to have a lot of sound in a racing car other than the engine and the sound of it crashing really, but yeah, I can understand that. Playability 86%, addictive quality is 85%, overall rating 87%. So let's have a look at the game. Let's put my literature down. We're going to go for the Kempson, I think. If I remember rightly, this was tough. You have to get the speed up to do certain things, so we'll go for single player mode or multiplayer mode was an available option. Let's put my name in. That'll do for now. Practice. Hall of Fame. We'll go for the practice so you can get a general idea. Track 1, the ski jump or the bridge. We'll go for the ski jump, which I'll never make it over. Shows you the track there, and looks horrible, doesn't it? Right, it tells you to press drop. Once you're over the track, you press fire, you'll drop the car. You're being lifted up onto an elevated track, and to be quite fair, it runs quite smooth. So press drop to start, and all we got to do now is increase speed and stay on the track, which is easier said than done because sometimes the track disappears from underneath you. The faster you go, the harder it becomes to stay on the track as well. Oh, I'm gonna come off, ain't I? Ooh, done well there. And I'm gradually building up speed because this is the big hill that you need to bring up the speed over to get over it. Oh, that is very disconcerting when you can't see where you're going. See yourself flying in mid-air sometimes with no idea where you are. I'm going to complete a lap, I think, without actually crashing. That is a minor miracle in itself. Press right to change up a gear. Build up your speed, which... Oh, that's going to wreck me. Oh, look at the damage go up across the top. As you can see that crack appearing, which will appear quite... And I'm off the track. Did I say I was going to complete a lap? Silly me! Oh, we'll try one more time. I think you get a certain amount of goes before you die. Press fire when you're over the track. Okay, I have. If you press fire in the wrong place, you don't make the track. I'm going to go for it this time round. Real speed, real urgency. Intense concentration, folks. This joystick actually works well with this game, I have to say. It makes it a lot easier than just using the keyboard. You have to sort of remember which way the track goes because you need to be prepared to be pressing that direction in mid-air, really, in order to land on it. So, I haven't got any real speed up yet. I'm granddaddy driving on an elevated track. Oh, here we go. Oh, there we go. I haven't got a clue where I am, but I know there's a bend coming that way, so... And as you can see, them cracks have come off the track. I don't know how I haven't ended up upside down there. And now I'm stuck. Eventually the game catches up and realises you're not dead. So what do I think of the game? Well, there's a lot to learning how to play this. It's really easy to stay on the track in certain parts, but it's a very difficult game to actually play in practice. It's quite smooth, to be honest. Yeah, it's well done. A little bit disconcerting, but overall it's not too bad. So Crash gave that an 87%. It wasn't far off a Crash Smash, and I'm going to give that, well, I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10. Hopefully it will remind you some games you may have forgotten to play for years and would like to try again. That's what this show is all about. It's a good old blast on nostalgia with a little bit of fun thrown in. We're going to move on to another game we're going to re-review from the same issue of Crash, as a matter of fact. Have no idea how to play this, so you're going to have to bear with me. Good starting sequence to this next game. It's Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. Yes, by US Gold, £9.99 and $14.99 on discs. It's got a nice opening sequence. The presentation was given 76%, graphics 66%, sound 71%, playability 67%, addictive quality 64%, its overall rating was 70%. Just thought I'd let the opening sequence play. I'm hoping that if you wanted to, on your camera or mobile phone or any, you can actually enlarge the screen now. I haven't tested that yet, but who knows. And I need to correct something I said earlier. We'll need to pause this in a minute. It's a multi-load game, so you have to reset the tape and reload various parts as you get further on. Yeah, you know earlier when Mr. Hare's Fly, I said you start on the same screen. Actually, you start back at the regeneration chamber. Don't know what made me say that. Anyway, I've corrected it now. So, bit of mince information by Retro Robins there. It won't be the first time or the last time I've actually got something wrong, but I'm glad to fix it before it's actually pointed out towards me. So we've got a nice rendition of Bad. We want to get into the game as well. Obviously, because you're loading sections. Nice little loading screens, to be quite honest. This is what you're going to do effectively. First thing you're going to do is find various objects to do with Michael Jackson, such as a microphone, some boots, and avoid the bad guys in doing so. Which is easier said than done. It's a top-down, obviously. Reminds me a little bit. Oh, we'll need that key, so we'll click that. And if you hold down the fire button, you can run quickly, which will come in very useful indeed. But you can only run quickly for so long. And you've got some dots on the screen there, which are telling you where to find those various objects in that bottom corner down there. So if I go across here now, or the moving dots could be bad guys. And this is the sort of game that will play my autofocus up a little bit, so if it does go blurry, bear with me, it will reset itself as we find a bit of colour. And if it's black and white, and my camera doesn't like it, but you know. As I say, I've run out of steam now, so I'm going to let myself charge up a bit, because I've been trying to charge around looking for various items. And the map itself is quite big. Nice colourfully done. Ah, there you go. See, I found a glove. I think it's a glove. There you go, I'm able to run fast again. So, we're doing steady progress at the moment. We're not like... Oh, what's that? I presume we can get on that. That must be how to get out once you've got all the various items you need. Because it's got a bleeper sound playing in the background, it's a little bit slow moving. However, the scrolling is very smooth. Whoops. Now we've got a problem. He will chase you endlessly until that happens. Fortunately, you haven't got to find things again because you've still got the items you found previously. it's a good job you can run quickly, because sometimes this game can be a bit slow moving. But all in all, it's not a bad game. Whoa. And once you're located by a bad guy, you just literally got a scarper. We need to get through into there somehow, so I presume there's an entrance that you use a key on. I think actually we should find the boots up here. Is it here? No. It's a bit random sometimes where they are, or for that, or I'm forgetting, but yeah. Okay, so I'm not going to play it. I'm going to give it a rating. Not so sure about the bleeper sound though. It's not exactly down the pipes, is it? How good is that? How good is that? Okay. Get me literature out. Let's have a look, shall we? So Crash gave that an overall rating of 70%, which is effectively 7 out of 10. Oh, I must have just died. Find it a little bit annoying, that music's a bit tedious, but it's not a great game. I'm going to give that a 6 out of 10. Maybe you liked it back in the day, but it's not for me. It's not my sort of game. It does remind me a little bit like Gauntlet with better graphics but slower moving, where Gauntlet was sort of a blocky move with us. Loads of levels to Gauntlet was that. So yeah, that's that one. More for you to try. A 6 out of 10 from Retro Robbins. Let's move on to another one before we go to Commodore versus Spectrum. Detonation time. So we're going to have a look at this game that I haven't seen before, but I've seen a few people playing it on the Spectrum forums, and of course it's another one of those Mario outings. Got the sound of the body commander in the background, it's just brilliant, isn't it? Right, so let's get out to config. Oh, I like the sound of that. Listen. Game type A and type B. Or random. We'll go for random, shall we? I'm not sure this has got sound. I'm not sure the keys either. Yep. We got sound a little bit, I think. So let's have a move, shall we? What are the keys? Have I got the joystick on? No, I haven't. Quick rectification. Oh. I've left the sound off for now while you're listening to this, and I'm dying very badly. What you're going to do effectively is knock them turtles on their back. So I'll try and do that, and then once you get a certain amount of turtles on their back, you can walk over them. If you hit them twice, and of course by knocking a turtle on his back, I've got one, yay! I'm pressing Y to jump, and that's the first part level done. It's quite a good little platformer, a little bit tough. However, it's great the way they use a little bit of coding trickery there to get more than a few colours in the same colour palette. Normally paper and ink is all you are allowed. Oh, I missed him and jumped straight into him. Never known turtles could be so deadly. Another outing of the Mario Brothers. What do I think of that particular game? Well, yeah, it's okay. It is what it is. Not so sure about the music though. I prefer my A-boy sound here. But yeah, it's okay. It's great the way they do it, but you know, the first version of this I enjoyed more. This one was more of a novelty to me, but it wasn't a bad game at all, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it, but yeah, it's not bad at all. It's available free on download as well, so go and help yourself to this game. Give it a go, give it a play. Stop interrupting me. Every time I speak, something has to happen, doesn't it, eh? Alright then, last week the battle, we lost 2-0. It was a clean sweep for Commodore in the best of 3. Has the Spectrum got the answer? Will they do a good fight back? Will it be Spectrum's time? Will we be victorious once more and show those Commodore boys? Have you quite finished? That's right, Commodore versus Spectrum, coming up now! We're going with Dick Tracy. Not to be confused with Bugsy Malone, 2 different characters, but they both wear Trubies, and I used to wear a Trubie at one time and used to love it as well. Great for keeping the rain off your head, I promise you. Not like this flat cap, only keeps the rain off my nose. And I don't think this is quite long enough to keep the rain off my nose, to be honest with you, but maybe that was a bit of a lie. Right, let's have a look at the game. Please stop the tape. Okay. Right, it's a running along game where you've got to punch and shoot, but you can't shoot. It's quite fast moving actually, I like it. Get rid of the bad guys pretty rapidly. And of course, to punch, you've got to be going forwards. Try not to get hit by his bullet, though. I'm going to die. Yeah, I can duck. Come on, stand up and take it like a man, that's it, okay. Oh, I'm going to time it well, that's it. Go! Too bad he's here. One down, Shuley. Shuley, he's got to be gone. And there you've got a gun which will help. I'm moving on a little bit. It's easy to shoot, but I can't shoot up unfortunately, so can you shoot up? Just do a run for it. Avoid the bullets fast. Oh, I'm going to be dead in a minute. Go, that's it, done it. I know I've lost my gun. So it's a case of use your fists again to beat them up. I'm annoying them little soldiers that are shooting from the windows because they can get in the way of you actually battling these guys, and I'm dead already. That's the Spectrum version. Let's have a look at the Commodore version. Up the Commodore, you will get a loading screen on this and a little intro to the people who made Dick Tracy or programmed it or coded it or whatever, or the software company that released it, but unfortunately it takes ages to load. And there's the loading screen, pretty much the same as the Spectrum one. A real difference, and it'll tell you now, please wait while we're loading, and then just go blank, so you have no idea. And you have to be on the ball with this game because as soon as it loads, you're straight into the game. No warning, no press a key to start or anything like that. You're straight into the game and you have to start playing it there and then. And if you die, you have to rewind the tape and load it all over again to start the first level all over again, or basically rewind the B-side. As it goes blank again while we wait for it to load, and we're straight into the game. Oh, and I'm dead already. Would you believe it? Right, there was a lot of faffing around just to try the game for the second time. And as you can see, my energy is going down pretty rapidly as well. Well, oh, just about does that bullet there. And you're dead again, you have to load again. It's a lot of faffing around. I mean, every time you die you have to reload the level. You don't have to do that on the Spectrum. Anyway, I've looked at both versions. I've managed to play a little bit more of each version, and well, I've got to make a decision, and here comes my verdict. Because it's fast and moving, I like the pixels, although his walking seems like he's kangaroo in the head a little bit, and you haven't got to load the first level every time you die, which is a big issue. in playing the two versions. Spectrum have definitely won the day over that one. In fact, it was pretty much a no contest on this occasion. Sorry, Commodore guys, but I've got to see these things as I see these things. Just to address a little issue as well. I'm comparing all the games to each other, not to the arcade versions and which is closest. I'm just going on what plays best for me on that particular system, because I haven't got all the arcade machines to compare them to, and I haven't had every arcade machine in order to play it. But yeah, this is 1-0 for the Spectrum, and don't forget this is the best of the three. So let's have a look at the next game. That's a going to Spectrum for Dick Tracy. Timed that well, didn't I? That's right, we're going to go with this game now, and I've been looking forward to this. I've played the Commodore version quite a bit. Oh, you know it, don't you? That excellent little sound from Ultimate Play the Game. Sound clash! Stop it, you. Oh, we love it. Absolutely love it. Right, I'm going to use the Kempston joystick. You can have directional control on, which is going to be good for me. And obviously you have to use an extra key on the keyboard if I remember rightly. So let's start the game. You've all seen it, you've all played it, you all know what it's about. And of course, right, we're in a room of empty. I'm going to stay here for a minute because I want to see how fast he changes. Now, there's nothing in this room, so he's going to change quite quickly. But the more objects in the room there is, the slower his change will become. That's not too bad, is it, for a room of empty? And of course I'm in a great starting position here. It's a bit random sometimes, this game, on where it starts. Nice effectively jumping there. I've played the BBC when I was young. I played the BBC Micro version of this an awful lot at school. You know, when the BBC were king in the schools with their educating people on how to play games. I'm sorry, was that meant to be more than just games? And what a fantastic game this turned out to be. Yeah, I could push that table there, couldn't I, and try and get that boot, but we're just going to walk through it a little bit. And of course, as you can see, we're about to change, and now there's plenty happening on the screen. It should be a bit slower. In fact, it's roughly the same speed, so it's not too bad, is it? And there's a lot going on there. Oh, I've done well to make it over that first jump. I mean, I like the Spectrum version. This is a room that's really empty. But he's going to be the same speed again as he's changing. The screens change between screens very quickly indeed. The programming on this game was really good. And our first puzzle, he's here, so let's give it a go. And I've collected it. And made it look easy for a change. So, shall we have a look at the Commodore version? Indeed, we shall. Just pairing up the Commodore, and because I've got it on the Kung Fu Flash, there's your first loading screen. The Commodore actually has two loading screens. Make sure I get the right joystick this time. Oops. Wasn't the joystick, it was a remote for the TV. And, oh, yes, you can, can't you? Start game now. Load game settings. We'll start game. There's the loading screen for the actual game itself. This was without the pre-cheats. Please wait. Got a small full tune there. Port 2. Directional control. And no start game. Right, we'll stay here while he changes. He's going to change any minute now. It's getting nice and close, as you can see. Wow. Did he change? Did you see how fast that was? Right, let's have a look when there's actually something in the room. In fact, I'm not going to do that challenge. Horrible Benji nice, but not bad. Oh, I know where we are. I do know this game quite well. We get to see him change again, shall we? It sort of takes it away a little bit. I don't know if I like that or not, but you know. Okay. There's a bit more on the screen here. Will it affect his change? Little bit slower that time, but not much in it. It was there not much in it. So the overall look of the game is a lot similar, and now we'll get to see how fast he changes. Oh, what a difference! What a difference! What a difference that was. See how fast he changes. Rapid, ridiculous. Right, this pretty good game though, to be fair. This hasn't been out on the Commodore all that long compared to the Spectrum, so there was a little bit behind, but what a great isometric game it was back in the day as well. Oh, we love it, don't we? Bit of the old Commodore classic. The Spectrum classic more like. Commodore's a bunch of copiers. I don't want to see the death sequence yet, please. Fast change! That's ridiculous. What do I make of that? Well, here comes my verdict! Can you tell which one I chose? Commodore. Had to be, didn't it, to be fair? Yeah, why? No, it wasn't the Commodore. Absolutely not. It's a Spectrum version. Why the Spectrum version, you might hasten to add? Well, it just plays a lot better. It runs a bit quicker. It's a little bit slow in some rooms, but this is the main reason. Even when there's nothing in the room, you get to enjoy the sprites of him changing quite regular. Watch. That's better than that rapid change. And he was out on the Spectrum first, but that shouldn't sway it. I have to judge these things. So remember, this is only a matter of opinion. You may have a different opinion. That's fine by me. Please leave a comment as always. Just loving that tune in the background. So this time round, it's 2-0 Spectrum, which means out of a best of 3, there is no more. Once it goes 2-0, that is the end score. Unless it goes one apiece, we have to have a decider. And this time round, it's Spectrum that do the business for us. Come on. Last time round, it was Commodore that won 2-0. And, oh well, you know. Just enjoying this tune now. In the meantime, from me, Wayne Retro Robbins, please have a nice working week or weekend, depending on when you watch this. Take care, be safe, and bye for now. Thanks for watching.